The Rockingham circuit is a unique challenge for the young drivers in the BRDC Formula 4 Championship. It's also a new one, as the series has never been here before. We saw plenty of drivers pushing hard, but Harry Newey broke a drive shaft, putting him out of race one. Will Palmer started on pole position, and he got away well at the start of the opening race, but he went rally crossing at the second corner, followed by about half the field. That handed the lead to a grateful Rodrigo Fonseca, as Palmer's car remained a magnet for others. There was action right to the last lap when Sebastian Lanzetti hit Kieran Haggerty, spinning him out of the way. However, nothing was going to get in the way of Rodrigo Fonseca claiming his first victory in F4.
I'm very happy. My parents are here, so it's really special for me.
The rain had come for race two, and that made the circuit treacherous. Jordan Albert made a great start and challenged for the race lead, but Michael O'Brien was the man up front, and he held on to the advantage all the way around turn one and up to the Dean hairpin. Tom Jackson seemed to relish the conditions, and he fought his way through the field to make it up to third place. Likewise, Harry Newey, who started at the back, was carving his way up the order. In the end, though, Michael O'Brien came round to become the fifth different winner in 5 races, much to the delight of his dad.
Extremely tough. First proper time driving in the wet as well in this car in a race. To get that result was just amazing.
For the final race, the sun came out to play, and it was Rodrigo Fonseca starting in the hot seat. Fonseca blasted away to head teammate Chris Meelan to turn one. However, on the final lap, Meelan launched himself up the inside of Fonseca to become the first double winner of the season.
I thought there's no going back as well from now, so I made it stick, and it was one of my favourite moves of the year so far.
That gives Chris Meelan a 14-point advantage in the championship over Rodrigo Fonseca, with Jack Bartholomew in third. The 2014 Formula Jedi champion James Lang took a first podium at Rockingham, a great result for him and his small privately run squad.
It's more a father and son team, so there's me the driver, my dad's the mechanic, he does everything at home, pays for it as well. And we've got friends, so we've got the riders, we've got Matthew, Caroline, John, and we've got other friends, Darren, Michelle, Abigail. We've also got a young lad from Norwich College called Joe. So that's our team. We all just got to work as well as we can together, of course, because we're at a slight disadvantage as budget and setup. But no, it's a good setup and we get on really well.
18-year-old Indian driver Akhil Rabindra fought up to third place in race 2 at Rockingham, but got hit by Sebastian Lanzetti, and a puncture cost him a chance of a first podium.
Podium was well within my reach, because running third, as I said, my car setup was really good. I really liked the track, so car was good. I personally liked it. Podium was well in reach, but unfortunately I had to get a puncture.
It's race 1 of the weekend here at Silverstone, and Will Palmer is the man lining up on pole position, and with him at the front of the grid is Harry Newey. Scene set then. The lights will go red, engine notes rise, lights out. Great start by Palmer from pole position, and he leads the way on the run down towards Copse Corner for the first time. Palmer it is who swings through just ahead as they work their way now through the right-hander and accelerate their way up towards Maggots and then onto Beckett's for the first time. It's Palmer leading the way. Jordan Albert slots in behind him in second spot, and then third as they wriggle their way towards Hanger Straight for the first time is Harry Newey, who has not made a great getaway. He's fallen back in the pack then as the cars work their way onto the Hanger Straight for the first time. You're on board with Newey, trying to fight back, trying to retaliate as the cars work their way down now towards Stoke Corner. Jordan Albert is the man ahead of him. Albert making a good start from the second row of the grid, and look at that, right round the outside there goes Kieran Haggerty. He's passed one, he's passed two, what a move! Kieran Haggerty right round the outside, up into second place, fabulous bit of driving. Jordan Albert fights back at the end of Vale, locks up, scrabbles through the corner, gets himself up ahead of Harry Newey as well. He then gets forced out wide, and Newey scrabbling for grip, hops back onto the circuit, but he's lost another place there, look, because up on the inside of him, gaining ground as they work their way through is Ricky Christodoulou, guesting for hill speed. Through Abbey, then sweeping their way round Farm, up towards the right-hander of Village they come now. Into the braking area, Newey up the inside there of Tom Jackson, gains a place. Works his way through, but Jackson tries to fight back, and behind them, look, also there's a good little scrap developing with just at the head of it, Omar Ismail in his first ever car race. There he is, number 4, the red car, and Omar Ismail, as I say, new to car racing, is doing a very good job indeed here. But up front, look at the gap that Will Palmer has pulled. He's absolutely out on his own as they dive down towards Brooklands. Up on the inside there goes Rodrigo Fonseca in the Telmax-backed car number 9. The red and white car goes ahead of Jordan Albert. And there, look, also trying to wriggle up the inside in 17. The red and white car is Ricky Christodoulou. He's on the inside line. And Ricky Christo should gain a place here, working his way through Woodcote. Over the timing line, down towards Copse Corner they go now. Will Palmer, though, continues to pull away up front as the cars power their way through Maggots and then up towards Beckett's. Absolutely on the limit, though. There you can see Rodrigo Fonseca hustling on, desperately trying to bring down the gap as Harry Newey commits to a move on the inside of Jordan Albert, and through he goes. Brave stuff that through the Beckett's S's. Racing newcomer, so got the novice cross on the back. Harry Newey dovetailing his races in this alongside a German Formula 4 campaign. He gains the place, but Jordan Albert, look, comes back at him, round the outside, heading down towards Stowe Corner. But Newey brakes as late as he dares. Flings the car through Stowe, and you can see just how on the limit he is there. Newey hangs onto the place. Jack Lang tries to cover the line, and there's contact, look, between him and Chris Mealin, the championship leader in strife, but Lang in the gravel. Jack Lang out of the race. That's going to be a yellow flag zone up at Stowe Corner next time around. Ricky Christodoulou then still squabbling as he works his way up past the wing. You're on board with Rodrigo Fonseca here. He started on the 3rd row of the grid, and Fonseca now turns right through Abbey but loses a place to Ricky Christo. And another, Harry Newey goes past him as well. Fonseca caught offline there and he loses 2 places. Newey now comes up to attack Christodoulou round the outside at Village. Christodoulou gives him no room at all. Newey goes off the circuit, keeps his foot in and gains the place going up towards the loop. The blue and white car of Harry Newey, the son of legendary Formula 1 aerodynamicist Adrian Newey, powers his way now onto Wellington Straight, and Fonseca has caught back up to them now as he works his way down towards Brooklands. He can see the battles raging on ahead of him as Newey commits to the inside line there. He goes ahead of Christodoulou with Jordan Albert next in the queue. Ricky Christodoulou's red and white car for Richard Ollerenshaw's Hill Speed team looking for a way past Harry Newey, but for the moment, Newey just hangs onto the place. The blue and white HHC Motorsport car turns through Woodcote. Newey tries to defend for all he's worth, but Christodoulou is up the inside as they head down towards Copse Corner. And through he goes on the inside line. It's a place gain for Ricky Christodoulou then as they work their way now up towards the left-hander, and down the pit lane comes Rodrigo Fonseca with a problem. Pointing at the rear of the car, you've got a deflating tyre maybe. You're on board with Harry Newey, still pushing on through Beckett's, quicker than Christodoulou to the inside. There's going to be contact, there is contact. Off they both go. You could see that one coming, couldn't you, as Harry Newey went for the inside line. Ricky Christodoulou cut across to take his line for the corner, and the net result is that both cars are interlocked, they're off the road, and there's bound to be a difference of opinion. Christodoulou with a little slide midway through Beckett's, Newey up the inside, but still think Christodoulou was far enough ahead for him to legitimately say that was his corner. So Will Palmer is on target for his 2nd win of the season. He's on his last lap of the race now as he works his way up towards the timing line, and Will Palmer turns his way through Luffield, sprints now up towards the checkered flag, and Palmer, for 2 wins this year, will be delighted with a good points haul here. This brings him back into the game in the championship as Will Palmer wins at Silverstone. 2nd across the line is going to be Kieran Haggerty, and 3rd should go the way of Jordan Albert, with Tom Jackson coming through in 4th place. Great result for Palmer. Lower down the order is Jack Bartholomew, who rounds out the top 6 behind Sisut and Gabellana, and Tom Jackson. Jordan Albert bags 3rd behind Kieran Haggerty. But Will Palmer is the man on the top step of the podium as he takes a 2nd win.
We had really good pace in qualifying earlier, taking pole by almost a second, and then I knew if I managed to get away in my lead, I'd have a good shot of a win. So I managed to, and then after that, it was just a case of getting my head down and just pushing.
So race 2 is set to get underway here at Silverstone. 10 laps or 20 minutes, depending on which comes first. Hernan Fallis on pole position. 5-second board is displayed to the drivers. The lights go red, engine notes rise. Let's see who makes the best start as they blast off down towards Copse Corner. Fallis, it is from pole, who moves across and defends from Omar Ismail within third spot. Cisa and Gebelana there in the blue and white car as they work their way round Copse Corner for the first time. Tom Jackson in 12 is away well also, and they sprint their way now up towards Magnets for the first time. Will Palmer, the race 1 winner, starting 8th with work to do. Rodrigo Fonseca also with some work to do, and of course this time around it is a wet and treacherous road on which they've got to do battle. Fonseca there tries to gain some ground on the outside look of Sebastian Lanzetti, and a charging Ricky Christodoulou in a repaired car comes up round the outside and gains track position as well. Back on board here with Fonseca. He started 15th on the grid, he's got a lot of work to do. The race leaders then for the first time come into Stowe Corner. A challenge made by Sisu and Gebelana there. Look up the inside of the blue and white car. Gebelana goes through, hangs on to second spot, on board now with Jordan Albert. That's Omar Ismail just up the road ahead in only his second ever car race, don't forget, in the red car. Omar Ismail. Look at the race leaders almost together as Gebelana attacks, and up the inside goes Ismail as well. To the end of Vale, through Club Corner, and there Jack Lang gets squeezed out wide onto the grass. His car was off into the gravel in race 1. It's been repaired, but he's got work to do in this second race as Fallis checks his mirrors. He sees the South African Cisa and Gebelana tucked up behind him, and Jordan Albert, who comes from just down the road in Silverstone Village, number 23 there, look in the green and black and silver car, is hard at work to try to make a move now up against Omar Ismail, coming down towards Village. On the inside line, Jordan Albert, he should be able to go through, and he does. And look at the race leaders overlapping as Gebelana gets up alongside Hernan Fallis into the loop, then towards Aintree, wheel-to-wheel stuff, but Fallis it is who hangs on to the advantage, and Jordan Albert falls back behind Ismail and is about to lose out to Tom Jackson as well in the red car, number 12. You're back on board with Albert, round the outside as they work their way down Wellington Straight. Heading into the braking area, it'll be left at Brooklands. Jordan Albert back ahead of Tom Jackson, but Omar Ismail is doing a really good job of defending his third place. And look behind Jackson now, Will Palmer, there he is in the red, white and blue comma-backed car. He's creeping into the mix as well. He's got Kieran Haggerty, the Scotsman, tucked up behind him, and an awful lot can yet shake out of this race as they work their way up towards the timing line now. There's Palmer, there's Haggerty behind him in the Acuria Cos Young Driver Programme car. Patriotic blue and white colours of Acuria Cos as Jordan Albert in the green car dives out, has a look, tucks back in again. Omar Ismail fends him off, and Jordan Albert on board with him now, comes out of Copse Corner. Now has he got the run up towards Magnets? Is he going to be able here to make a move? Let's see. Omar Ismail fends him off. Ismail belying his lack of experience, and Jordan Albert goes too deep into the Beckett's S's. Almost runs out of road, and that gives Tom Jackson a chance to go right round the outside of him. Good move by Jackson. And Will Palmer, looking number 3, just behind this little battle pack, is trying to gain places as well. Palmer is almost up with them now. Remember, as the race 1 winner, he starts 8th on the grid, Palmer. You're on board with Albert, but it's Palmer tucked up behind him, and the leaders are nose to tail. And Gebelana goes to the inside, heading into Stowe. Offline, it's wetter there, it's harder to overtake. And so Hernan Fallis hangs on to the advantage. Back on board here with Albert through Stowe Corner. To the end of Vale, down through the gears. The Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, 3.6 miles. It means a lot can happen on the lap. It's nice and wide. Lots of overtaking opportunities. And Jordan Albert trying to get up there to have a nibble at Omar Ismail. But in fact, it's Ismail who is now trying to attack and Gebelana for second place. And so Hernan Fallis pulls away as they come now past the wing, down towards Abbey. Through the right-hander. Next it's Farm, and Jordan Albert now in the Sean Walkinshaw racing car goes round the outside, absolutely wheel-to-wheel with Ismail. He's going to have the inside line for Village, is Jordan Albert. Ismail goes deeper into the corner. Wide often means you can find a bit more traction, and it pays off for him because look, he stays ahead in the red car. Omar Ismail going up now towards the loop for the lead. Hernan Fallis in the red, white and blue car leads the way, but right on his tail is the South African driver Sisu and Gebelana. Where to look next? Back on board with Albert, creeping back onto the tail of Ismail for third place. And are these two starting to close on the race leaders? Yes, they are, and look at the queue they're bringing with them. Down through Brooklands they come. Wide goes Hernan Fallis, and right on his tail now as they work their way around Luffield. Sisu and Gebelana looking for a way through. Now, this is the view riding on board number 12, with Tom Jackson as he comes through Luffield up towards Woodcote Corner and then over the timing line. And Gebelana goes through. He's dropped back a little bit now as far as the leader Hernan Fallis is concerned. And Gebelana, remember, started 4th on the grid, so he's made good progress. Omar Ismail, though, still defending really strongly, 3rd in the red car from this man, Jordan Albert. Back with him now. Up towards Maggots, the leading 4, almost as one. Hernan Fallis still leading despite the pressure. He can't get away, though. Jordan Albert hard at work, snaking his way through the Beckett's S's. And Hernan Fallis coming under more and more pressure from Gebelana. Ishmael under more and more pressure from Jordan Albert. Tom Jackson 5th, almost up with them as well. Back on board now with Jordan Albert. Down the hanger straight they go. Albert pulls to the outside line. Is this going to be the opportunity to make 3rd place stick? Let's see. Yes, it is. He goes round the outside. And so Jordan Albert is 3rd as they turn into Stowe Corner. Next target, Sisu and Gebelana, who goes really wide at Stowe. Kicks up the water into the face of Jordan Albert. Going far stronger this year than last, and as they get to the end of Vale, the man who had a win at Alton Park is right on the tail of the top 2 now. He could work his way through and perhaps even take a 2nd win of the season. Out of Club Corner, lower down the order, Kieran Haggerty trying to make a move up the inside of Fonseca. And forces Chris Mealin out wide, but Mealin goes over the curb and back on and actually gains the position as well. The 2 Lannan Racing red and white cars go through and Kieran Haggerty drops down the order. From farm up towards village they come now. This is the lead battle and Hernan Fallis is still in charge and Gebelana is 2nd, Jordan Albert 3rd, and to the inside line goes on Gebelana's blue and white car, and is this it? It is! This time it works for him. Sisu and Gebelana gets himself through into the race lead. Hernan Fallis 2nd as they turn their way now on an ever-drying road down Wellington Straight. A bit wetter on this part of the circuit, look, as some tyre preservation is called for. Jordan Albert trying to buy into this as well. And he gets forced out onto the grass and he's going to head for the gravel bed. He's just been able to steer away from it. Good recovery, good save by Jordan Albert. But where does that drop him to? 6th or 7th? 7th it is as he gets back onto the road. After all the hard work, disaster for Jordan Albert. He was squeezed over the curb and with that being friction-free, he just couldn't get the car slowed down in time. It was a good save to keep it away from the gravel bed, and so Jordan Albert now has got to do all the hard work all over again as the leaders come through. It's Gebelana leading there, Hernan Fallis in 2nd place, and look who's up to 3rd. Race 1 winner Will Palmer. Now can he score a 2nd victory? And this one from 8th on the grid, remember. He is right on the back of Fallis now as they go up through the Beckett's S's. This is the view from Rodrigo Fonseca. Started 15th, but he's still chipping his way up the order. Really good, tigering drive this. Remember, he pitted and retired in race 1. Will Palmer in the red, white and blue car, still under attack, still trying to gain places as well. This is Fonseca's view. It's been a mighty drive up through the order. Down Hanger Straight they come. Is he going to be able to dive out of the spray and make a move at the end of Hanger Straight? It's Tom Jackson ahead, and round the outside there goes Fonseca. Is that going to work for him? Let's see. It has. Fonseca goes right round the outside, up into 4th place, and he's straight on the case of Palmer. Down to the end of Vale, through to 3rd, hard on the brakes. And there's contact, look, he hits the back of Fallis, and that's going to affect the nose cone, certainly, of Fonseca's car. How much damage has he done? Let's see, he's gone from 5th to 3rd in the space of really a couple of corners, but damage to the front. You can see there the 3rd place car, the red and white car of Lannan Racing, driven by Rodrigo Fonseca, has got frontal damage, and the nose is starting to drop on the ground, and the aero is affected. You see how he has to fight the car going through Abbey, and so Palmer now attacks on the inside line. Is that going to pay off for him? Let's see. You're riding here with Tom Jackson, who's got a grandstand seat of all of this. For the moment, Fonseca stays ahead. Palmer is right up behind him as they go now through the loop up towards Aintree. Will Palmer still pressing on. Let's have another look at what happened to Rodrigo Fonseca then. He's gained 1 place by this stage. He goes round the outside of Palmer, but he just can't slow it down in time and skims the back of Hernan Fallis. Now this is Fonseca's view down towards Stowe Corner. He's got frontal damage, triggered by making contact with the back of Fallis' car a couple of laps ago. And he's actually doing a very good job of driving round the problem. So much so that he attacks for the lead at the end of Vale. And through he goes. Fonseca grabs the advantage really deep though into the corner. He's still having to really fight that car. The front damage just affecting the aero more than a little. Can he cut across and defend from Gebelana? Yes, he can. They both run wide over the curb, up past the wing, and there you can see the damage on the front of Rodrigo Fonseca's car. And a big bite taken out of it as they go through the right-hander of Abbey now. Another look at how Fonseca made the move and got the race lead. Brakes as late as he dares, and don't forget this is on a wet road. Just had enough traction to get safely round the corner. Will Palmer, number 3, round the outside of Tom Jackson's red car, although Jackson fights back on the inside and retakes the place here. The road is still damp, but it is drying, and you can see occasionally now drivers having to go for the wetter parts of the road to look after tyres. Palmer commits to the inside of Brooklands and goes through. Jackson fights back, level with him up to Luffield, and Tom Jackson retakes the place, forces Palmer out wide, and so Jordan Albert, recovering from a moment early on in the race, he's trying to buy into that as well. Jordan Albert looking the green and silver and black car. There is Will Palmer, and Jordan Albert is the next one in the queue through Woodcote, down towards Copse Corner. Now that Fonseca has hit the front, he's getting away, and there Hernan Fallas tries to go up the inside of Sisu and Gebelana for second place, but he can't do it. They both run wide off the road at Copse. Up towards the Beckett's S's now. Fallas trying to retaliate for second place. Look at the way that Fonseca, having got through, has just checked out. He's clear up the road, isn't he? On board with Jackson, tries to make his move round the outside of Fallas. This is really brave stuff through the Beckett's S's. Jackson absolutely on the limit of adhesion, goes through. Fantastic move. Tom Jackson up to 3rd. Hernan Fallas gets mugged then. He's down a 4th spot, but he's in the tow, coming down Hanger Straight. Fallas, you're riding with him, goes to the inside line now. He'll brake as late as he dares. He's got the shorter line, the quicker line, the tighter line. Has he got 3rd place back though? Not yet. Jackson stands his ground on the outside where there is a bit more traction, and Jackson hangs on to 3rd and tries to make a move for 2nd. He goes one way against Gebelana. He goes the other as they head down to the end of Vale and almost goes into the back of the South African. He's deep into the corner. Fallas tries to buy into it. Palmer up the inside and there's contact. Off the road goes Hernan Fallas. Fallas, the pole sitter, is off at Club Corner. Palmer is delayed. Ricky Christodoulou there in the guest class, number 17 Hill Speed car, goes up the inside, and Ricky Christodoulou should be able to go through, but he doesn't, he spins! Round goes Christodoulou heading into Abbey, lights up the tyres, blasts back into the race, and a hugely frustrated Hernan Fallas is out of the race. As down towards Brooklands for the final time comes Rodrigo Fonseca. To win in these conditions is one thing, to win in such a topsy-turvy race is another, and to do it from 15th on the grid is a mighty achievement. Rodrigo Fonseca is about to come through for the win of his career, I reckon. It'll be a 2nd of the season for him, and Rodrigo Fonseca wins a tremendous race here at Silverstone. Fonseca absolutely over the moon with that. Sisu and Gebelana is 2nd, and he's absolutely wrapped as well. His best finish of the year, and Tom Jackson really deserves 3rd place after a proper gutsy drive. And after that, it's time for a deep breath. Confirmation of the way they came across the line. Harry Newey rounds out the top 6 behind Jordan Albert and Will Palmer. Cracking drive by Tom Jackson for 3rd. Sisu and Gebelana takes his best of the year, but it's a 2nd win for Rodrigo Fonseca.
Well, the team did an excellent job with the car, and I think I did a great job in the track. So managed to go from 15th to 1st in a couple of laps, so I'm really happy with that.
Race 3 is set to get underway. Will Palmer on pole position, green flag shown at the back to say that everybody is back from that green flag lap to get warmth into the tyres. Lights red, lights out. It's blast off. Palmer makes a good start, and so behind him, Kieran Haggerty, number 79. But Jordan Albert, look, has made an absolutely great getaway. He's on the outside line as they head down towards Copse. Is he going to be able to go all the way around the outside and back the advantage? Not quite, as you go on board with Ricky Christodoulou levelling with Rodrigo Fonseca, who is just ahead of him on the inside there, going through maggots for the first time. Around the outside, look, goes 33 Harry Newey, and he gains a place as well. Ricky Christodoulou, who does driver coaching with Hill Speed, having a chance this weekend to explore the car and gain first-hand experience of it, losing places through the Beckett's S's, as now you're on board with Fernando Urrutia heading down towards Stoke Corner. Will Palmer leads the way, gapping the rest of them already. Jordan Albert 2nd, and up the inside in 33 goes Harry Newey, can't find a way by. 79 is Kieran Haggerty's blue and white car, just ahead of this man, Rodrigo Fonseca, the winner of race 2 of the weekend. to the end of Vale. Fonseca proved to be really feisty on this part of the circuit in race 2, and he's equally committed in race 3 as he tries to find a way up one further place. Behind him is Harry Newey, and the cars turn their way out of Club Corner, past the wing, and now up towards Abbey. On board with Fernando Urrutia now. You can see how people go defensive on the run up towards Abbey. Urrutia in the Douglas Motorsport car turns now through Farm, and just up ahead of him, Cesar Gebelana defends the inside line going into Village and hangs onto the place. Urrutia tries to go around the outside, absolutely wheel to wheel. He gets the inside line heading up towards the loop, and he goes through. Fernando Urrutia there, look, in the red and white car with the green stripe, goes through, takes the place away from Gebelana. And this is Ricky Christodoulou's view now as they head down Wellington Straight, heading into Brooklands. On the inside line there, Kieran Haggerty, number 79, the Acuria Cost car, goes through up the inside of Rodrigo Fonseca. These two running absolutely nose to tail. Behind them, there's Gebelana's blue and white car, and Ricky Christodoulou there round the outside, but he still can't power ahead as they come into Woodcote Corner. Hernan Fallis in strife, gets it back in the right direction, but the man who led much of race 2 spins in race 3, gets going, but a whole heap of places lost as the leaders dive through Copse Corner once more. Back on board with Ricky Christodoulou. To the right is Harry Newey. Look, as they go up towards Maggots, Christodoulou has got the line. He's just ahead, but he's then on the outside for Beckett, so Newey goes back through. You can see how hard Ricky Christodoulou has to work through the very fast Beckett's S's. Onto the Hanger Straight once more. He's lost a couple of lengths, and so he's not close enough now to attack at the end of Hanger Straight unless he can get himself in the slipstream and get dragged along by the car in front. Kieran Haggerty on the inside there goes ahead of the red and white car of Rodrigo Fonseca. Great battle these two are having for third place. Up front, Will Palmer leads, Jordan Albert second. You're on board with fourth Fonseca, who goes to the outside of Haggerty at the end of Vale. And behind them, look, Harry Newey in the blue and white car just ahead of Ricky Christodoulou. Through Club Corner, speed building now, up past the wing. Bite of curb on the inside, run it out to the far outside of the road. Ricky Christodoulou keeping it within the white lines and sees the defensive driving ahead. Haggerty fending off Fonseca. That is enabling Harry Newey to close up as well. And now, look, Ricky Christodoulou has got the speed. He's close enough to think about attacking on the inside, heading up towards Village. Does he go through? He's up alongside Harry Newey, but Newey on the switchback will have the inside line for the next left, and he retakes the place. Not only that, Fonseca goes wide of the loop, and here comes Harry Newey in the blue and white car up the inside. Over the curb, almost making contact with Fonseca. Christodoulou tries to buy into this as well. Came out of the toe, therefore lost momentum. On the inside line is Newey in the blue and white HHC car, and he goes through. Fonseca's Lannon Racing entry drops back behind him. Look how much curb Ricky Christodoulou takes at Brooklands as he tries to hustle it up the inside now. On the power out of Luffield. Ricky Christodoulou turns through Woodcote, speed building all the while as they head over the timing line. Will Palmer, though, is just driving off into the distance up front. There is Jordan Albert second. And this huge queue of cars to be third funnels through Copse Corner now. Way wide, Christodoulou at Copse Corner. Over the curb and back on the road again. Lots of curb taken on the way into Beckett's, and again you can see big twitch midway through the Beckett's S's there. Ricky Christodoulou having to fight the car. Very, very fast section of the circuit, the Beckett's S's. It's a real challenge for the drivers. It's a great spectacle as well if you're standing trackside with any car going through there. And now the leaders head down Hanger Straight. Christodoulou in the very red and white car on the back of the very white and red car of Fonseca. There they are. The Mexican keeps the Brit at bay, although Ricky Christodoulou tries to go all the way around the outside at Stowe, and it doesn't work for him. Now look up the road. Battles on for third place ahead as well. And Fonseca is closing up onto the tail of that now. Through Club Corner. Double winner Fonseca. Ricky Christodoulou having his guest outing this weekend. And this a replay of the move he tried to pull against Harry Newey going up through Maggots. He was ahead there, but then on the outside line at Beckett's, through goes Newey. Kieran Haggerty now under attack. Look, number 79, the Acuria Cost car. With Ricky Christodoulou rattling it over the curbs at Copse, right up behind him. Christodoulou has the momentum. Now the outside at Maggots is the inside for Beckett, but it's irrelevant because Haggerty had the pace to keep him at bay. Jordan Albert there, coming under attack from Harry Newey. Fonseca is away up the road as well behind. That means that Fonseca is pulling away from Kieran Haggerty, who's got Christodoulou here behind him. Look at Christodoulou's right front tyre. You can see how that's graining up with the mark well across the middle of the tyre. So Christodoulou, who's been pushing hard race long, now perhaps starting to struggle with tyre wear. Comes through Stowe. Haggerty still ahead of him, down through Vale. He's not really close enough to attack at the end of the short straight here. And once more Haggerty claims the inside line well in advance of the corner. Rides the curb left into Club now through the double apex right. And Christodoulou comes out of the corner, much closer. Now the challenge will come on the inside, heading down towards Abbey, but has he pulled out of the slipstream a bit too early? Yes, he has. Has to slot back in again. And the opportunity squandered, heading through the right-hander. Left at Farm, but possibly it's on the inside, heading up towards Village, that Christodoulou will have a chance. Brakes hard now, turns right. Big lock-up from Haggerty, scrabbles wide, and Christodoulou sideways. He didn't gain at all from that because he made a mistake as well. Grabs gears, turning his way out of the loop through Aintree, bites the curb on the inside, runs it out wide on the outside of the road, and now in the wheel tracks of Haggerty as Jordan Albert at the front of the queue is trying to defend from Harry Newey's blue and white car that goes right round the outside of Brooklands. Great move. Harry Newey right round the outside, and he hangs on to the place despite Jordan Albert, Alton Park winner, trying to come back at him. HHC goes ahead of SWR in that little teams fight. Fonseca is closing up behind them as well. And look at this, Haggerty still trying to fend off Christodoulou. They could barely be closer over the line, and now Christodoulou commits to the inside. Down towards Cox, inside line, through goes Christodoulou. Uses the curb on the outside, but nothing excessive. And so finally he's made it stick. But have a look now at second, third and fourth. Fonseca on the back of Jordan Albert. Harry Newey starting to edge away up the road. And don't forget, Will Palmer is almost in the next round of the championship. So far ahead is he. Downhanger straight once more. Rodrigo Fonseca inching up onto the back of Jordan Albert. He's in the toe. Look at the gap. Disappear. He goes to the inside. Albert squeezes him a little bit. Fonseca switches sides. Can he go all the way around the outside at Stowe Corner? He tries. He's got his nose in front. He uses the curbs, and Fonseca goes through. He's got great racecraft, the Mexican. We saw that in race 2, and there is more evidence. That's really brave stuff, and he knows exactly how to overtake. Fonseca through, round the outside at Stowe Corner, despite the very defensive line that Jordan Albert hugged on the inside line going into the corner. But Rodrigo Fonseca then, round the outside at Stowe, makes the move stick down through the Vale, and this was how it all came off. Switches sides, goes round the outside into Stowe. He's just got enough room on the outside. And he surges past. As this is Fernando Urrutia's view, heading down towards Stowe Corner himself now. Omar Ismail ahead of him. He's third in the car race. Urrutia to the inside line. That should give him the place, and it does. The Brazilian driver goes through. Works his way up the order then. Down through Vale. Fernando Urrutia aiming for a place here in the top 10 if possible. Gets to the end of Vale. Curb left, curb right. On the power. Speed building as he goes now through Club Corner, up past the wing. Tom Jackson there, podium finisher earlier on in the weekend, struggling a little bit in this race. Number 12 is Jackson. Got himself onto the podium in race 2, but he's struggled in this race. But Will Palmer has definitely not struggled, and this is going to be a third win of the season for him. Checkered flag at the ready. Will Palmer comes through Woodcote Corner to score a third win of the championship, and this has been a great weekend for him points-wise. He is very much back in the mix as he takes the checkered flag victorious. Will Palmer wins. Second is going to go the way of Harry Newey, his best result of the year, and Rodrigo Fonseca takes third. And with Chris Meelan struggling down in 7th place, this is good news for Palmer in the championship, as up towards the timing line comes Akhil Rabindra to take 8th, just ahead of Sebastian Lanzetti and then Tom Jackson. So another fantastic race here at Silverstone. Kieran Haggerty rounds out the top 6 behind guest driver Ricky Christodoulou and Jordan Albert. Rodrigo Fonseca a feisty third behind Harry Newey, but Will Palmer is the winner.
Great weekend, taking pole and 2 wins. And I'm really grateful to the team. They've provided me with a great car all weekend, and yeah, it's just been fantastic to get my momentum back after a difficult weekend at Rockingham.
I lost the place into the first corner, and then it was a bit of a train, so it was kind of I thought I was going to be passed, but equally as I was in a position to pass, so it was hard to know what to do, whether to defend or attack. But once that kind of spread out a bit, then I got on with it, passed Rodrigo, then Kieran, and then finally caught up to Jordan and then passed him.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It was a really good weekend. Well, besides from the first race that we had a puncture, well, we had a first place and a third place. That's really good points, and 2 podiums in a weekend is really good result.
It's been a very important weekend in the championship for Will Palmer. He came here fourth. He leaves as the championship leader. Rodrigo Fonseca moves up to second, but a frustrating weekend for Chris Meehlin. He drops down to third, and he's left himself with a lot of work to do next time out when we head to Norfolk.